Hey guys, welcome to a new movie. Today we're doing Bring Her Back. It is not a sequel, but the second movie, but Raka, I don't know I can't remember the names. If I think of the names, I know the names, I feel like I've heard them before, but Raka YouTubers, they made the first movie Talk to Me, was really good, and then they made this one, the second one, I just saw it. I wanted to see it because I really liked the first one, and I wanted to talk about this one and see it, because obviously I was a big fan of the first one. Horror movies of that year, and maybe one of my more horror movies. I think it's really good. Really enjoyed it, but here we're talking about Bring Her Back. Well, what's good? I don't think it's as good as Talk to Me, but it's still like a really good horror movie. So let's jump into what this movie about. This movie's about this family, this guy who has a daughter who has some seeing problems. She can't see everything. She can hear fine, but she can't see stuff. Has vision problems, and she has to help her and stuff. The dad dies in the beginning. He's in the house. He dies, and I don't know if he accidentally fell or did something, but he's gone. And we find out more about the dad later. What's kind of like, ooh, yikes, makes him not the maybe nicest guy ever. But we find out later that after they get broken up, and then it's like, okay, you two. They try to do the same with split them up. I think if they're brother and sister, I don't know if they're separate. So whatever the case may be, I think you should keep it together. I think that's to me an obvious thing you should do. Now, obviously, if it's 10 kids, something goes okay, I think you should always try to keep it together. It's if it's just two, I'm just keep them together. What's so hard about that? Kid, the boy has some stuff in the past from Juby, and we find out more about that later. But he has some stuff that makes him a little bit over record, not anything super, enough to us yeah. But then he eventually gets to a point where we get to find the person who takes him in, and it starts off and you're okay, this girl is not completely. You don't give that vibe. It doesn't give it off immediately of her being kind of crazy. We find out later she is. It's not. I think the trailer. I think so a little bit, but. It starts off and I'm okay, I like her. She's not completely bad. There's some moments about her I like. Cause I went to the friend, I'm okay, you're not giving me off anything creepy yet. Maybe you're not creepy. Maybe it's just this other kid who's there too, named Ollie, who we find out about, who is 100% creepy. But we learn more about him near the end. Them living there and stuff. New I guess you could say mom or person taking care of them. It now eventually gets to a point where it's crazy. It starts doing stuff to the point where there's one point where he wakes up in the bed and he's looks like he pissed himself, and it's okay, that's weird. The boy character, brother, looked like he bit himself, and then you find out later what the deal with that is. They go pissing in a cup, and then he pours it on him, to make us think he pissed the bed. I'm that is weird and gross in a lot of ways, and I'm yeah, that's weird and gross, yeah. That alone would be enough to be no. If that was all she did, that would still be enough to be yeah, get the fuck out of there. But but she is. We find out more about Ollie, and she's trying to get her and the sister, him and the sister separated, telling stuff to the sister that's not made real and stuff. And eventually the sister does find out, but kind of get her on the best side. So he eventually goes to the person who helps when kids when they need to get adopted. Whatever the person who she talked to me, gets her to come to the house she's crazy, all this shit, and she is. And then she gets to the house and the person's realizes oh shit, she actually is crazy. It's what the hell's going on? And he finds out she actually is crazy. It's nope, they have to leave. So then she gets them they have to leave, and then obviously she hits them with the call, and obviously the one girl, person who was in the store dies. I'm her dying alone means people are gonna come and investigate this shit. I feel so her being missing, plus also the kids being. I feel that'd be a thing. He went out with this kid to go to this place, and then of course he tries to begging out to go, and also finds out about the other kid. They see the other kid on leave, but I said, they get him at the car. He's dead, and she takes the butter and basically drains. He's on the ground. He's alive, but not really alive enough. But then she takes him and grounds him and stuff. And we know, and what the deal is with Ollie. We find out about Ollie. I think a little bit before this, that he is this other lost kid who seems to be Ollie. That's a lost kid, and we find out it's Ollie. And what she's trying to do is bring her daughter back who died, and put her soul or something into this other kid, and that's why it's all trying to bring her back, and then eventually there's a point where Ollie kind of aches and becomes whoever his real name is Connor, and becomes hey, where am I, and all this stuff, and what's going on? It's yeah, and then eventually by the end, the sister finds out about what happened, because he feels Ollie's head, and obviously he's bald. If you saw in the trailer, he's bald, and she says oh, he has orange hair or something about his hair. I'm that's what he has. He knows he's lying and shit. So I like how she was able to kind of hold her own, but she throws something at her. Because he finds out he's dead. What happened to my brother? Who I can't remember his name. I think he's on the top of my tongue. He's what happened to my brother? And she throws something at her. And then she goes down, crashes the ground, or do whatever. What happened to her sister? That's what happened to not her sister, but what happened to my daughter? And it has to be something like that. I have to ground her too to get her to come in. I'm going to have you replace Ollie, and you'll be my sister. But eventually, I think something happens where she kind of gets I feel the mom, or whatever the case is, kind of gets this thing where she because he easily could have ground her. There's a point where she break concentration, or something happens with and obviously she's fighting her and stuff. But she's like feels, I think she feels bad or like, what am I doing kind of thing. I think she gets that. I think that's when I got to a point when she stops like trying to ground her. It's like, I feel like she's like, oh shit, what am I doing? And the main girl's name, the sister's name is Piper. I just remember that. I think yes, Piper. I like her and the brother. And the brother, I kind of like she died because he was like a character I liked, and he was like a good guy and he was trying to do the right thing. And this girl's crazy. But eventually, she goes off, she escapes, and then the mom, presumably the Ollie tries to leave, and when he leaves, because there's like this bear around the house, if he leaves, like the spirit or whatever that thing that's inside him, kind of starts freaking out and going out, and then freaks out. But at the end, he leaves the bear because he knows, I guess, it's very no, he's at least somewhat controlling. He leaves the bear, cuts out, and so Connor gets to go back to, I guess, his family and stuff. Also to the point where Connor got fucked up with a knife and stuff because he was eating like a knife door and stuff. But what? He's gonna be, I'm like, at least at the end, I'm like, okay, Connor made it out, I think, because he was one of the people. I'm like, yep, I think he's one of the people who definitely can he's being controlled by this demon or whatever. It's cool that he got to be free and get to go back home. He is still like, probably major screwed up because of the whole situation, gonna have probably therapy and all that stuff, but at least he made it out alive as well, so I'm like, that's cool. That he, because the character like that, sometimes they won't make him out alive. Characters he gets to this time, he's just a goner character, but yeah, that's cool. A lot of he got fucked up, and then sister makes it out alive, proceeds with these people who on the road stops to pick her up, help her, just help her. It's like, what's going on? Then they end with the mom and all the cops coming, and people searching everything they find off the Connor, and that's when you find out he's alive and stuff, he's back to normal. I mean, he still like has some messed up stuff, but by that I mean like scar stuff away, he was eating the knife, stuff from what happened to him. But then we find the mom with the daughter, who's actually, they had like her, I think it was a corpse that was in like the freezer thing, where this other thing was like eating and stuff. They're like curled up in the pool, and instead of them curling up, and all the cops and everything comes. I don't know. I want to say she's dead. If she's not, she's going to jail doing all this other. Basically, the movie was about her bringing her daughter back. But it's good. And also the boy, I forgot about the brother, had a lot of fears and stuff and scared about stuff because about his dad dying. And also we found out that his dad actually beat him and stuff. Didn't beat her, but beat him, and he was trying to get attention, and his dad would beat him and stuff and do things. And he was trying to keep the dad to be like, the dad's like trying to make the dad seem like this perfect guy, or like nothing to worry the sister about, like, yeah, he did this awful things to me, but I didn't want you to know about him, kind of thing, to protect the sister. Great, like the brother, he's great, and I mean, it was a good movie. I liked it. I would give this a solid like 8. I think it's good. I liked it. I would debating on it's good. Like, I think Vancouver can make good movies. This is a second movie, I would say. Not bad at all for a second movie. Your first movie was really good, and I feel like when your first movie is so good, it's like kind of hard to be like, oh, you're gonna top it. I don't think it tops it, but I think it is still good. So I still recommend going to see it. Bring it back. What do you guys think of Bring It Back? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys can always stay up and tell me what movies you've been watching in the comments down below. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.